Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I am so excited for this video. As you can tell by the title, it's a book video. In my last video I did mention I've been obsessed with books recently, and I did want to make some bookish content on this channel. Let's see how you guys respond to it. But before I actually get into the book part, I have a very special guest I want to introduce you to, guys. She is the one and only my little sister, Halima. I've panned the camera so she can fit because she doesn't have a chair. She's currently sitting on my bed. So, introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, I'm Halima, and I'm her younger sister, the one and only Kavya Edits.
And can I say the reason I'm so red lipstick, straight hair, we just came back from a party. And
not really a party.
A get together? Yeah, we just came back from a family get together, and I wanted to film a video, and I'm like, why not invite her? Because I really want, this person's a very important part of my life, and I'd like you guys to meet her. I've never said such nice things to you in my life.
I know.
Also, another reason she's here, when I've been reading these books, any book I read, I rant to her. She's like my open journal. Like, in the middle of the night, I like scream her name, and I'll be like, Halima, oh my god, this happened. Don't I? Oh my god, my clothes are here. Ignore this. Please ignore this. Is my why don't we tracksuits.
Can I say something?
Okay, yes.
In the middle of the night, when I'm doing the phone, she says, Halima, Halima, and the recent book she's reading is called Chasing Red. And she says,
So, I was about to do a segment into my book of the video. As I said from last video, I'm going to be doing a new segment in every video, book of the video. And she already said what book it is. It is currently the book I'm reading.
is
Chasing Red. I'm like this much through. I've read like this much. I'm like almost halfway. Wait. This book is amazing. I love it. I cannot wait to make a video on Chasing Red, always red, and it's spin-off Spitfire and Love. So watch out for that. That's coming very soon because I have ordered Spitfire and Love. You are so annoying. What do you want?
Spoiler alert, the next one, if she finishes it, it's called Always Red.
I did say that. I said that.
Okay. Look. By the way, look how he's sticking out. Look how much thing, like poem thingy.
We will talk about that when we get to this book. Today is not about this book. Today is all about the one and only Descendants books. I'm so excited for this video. This might be a long video or a short video, depending on how much this one talks. I'm so excited for this. If you don't know about Descendants, let's do a background about Descendants. Okay.
I watch Descendants all the time.
I'm so sorry. Having heard this video, I thought it'd be a bit different. It is a bit different. I've never had a guest on my, so it's not my little sister, but it's happening. Hope you guys like her.
I like me.
Of course you do. Anyways, we're going to talk about these 4 books, which are part of the Descendants series. So, if you don't know Descendants, Descendants is a Disney movie, which is season 1 and 2 and 3. Descendants 1, 2, and 3, which revolves around Mal, Evie, Carlos, rest in peace Cameron Bias, you will always be missed, and Jay, who are the VKs, the villain kids, and then you've got Ben, Jane, Audrey, yeah, who are the hero kids of Disney, and they go.
You also mentioned to say one more, the fairy godmother.
She's not a kid.
Whoops.
Jane's her kid. Anyways, so it's a movie about them and how the VKs on the Isle of Lost, the 4 come over to Oridon where the heroes live, and they go to school there and they become good, kind of. But we're not talking about the books. We are talking about the books. We're not talking about the movies.
She forgot to mention her favorite couple. By the way, it's not Ben and Mel. It's Carlos and Jay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, we're gonna. You can't. We're gonna get into that. We're not up to that. God, sorry, she likes to jump. Like, we're not up to that. We're gonna talk about these now. We're talking about these books, which is the 4 books in the Descendants series. This book came before the Descendants one. Well, it don't come before, but this book is about Ben, Mal, Evie, Jay, Carlos's life before they were the group, before they were friends, and before they went to Oregon, before they... This book basically focuses on their life before Descendants 1. This book is straight after Descendants. I'll explain what this is later when we get to actually detail. This book is, and then returning to the Isle of Lost after Descendants 1. Yep. This book is right before Descendants 2. This book mainly focuses Uma and how her pirate crew with Harry and Gil came to be, and there's a bit of a plot between Mal and Uma. This explains Uma and Mal's history together, which I really enjoyed. And then this book is after Descendants 2 and before Descendants 3. This introduces Hades, and it talks about what Uma's been doing between Descendants 2 and 3. And it also shows Mal and it's the VK's graduating, which was very good. Yes, now you can talk.
Did you mention that like the blue one, the red one, and the green one has literally a little Ben in it, and the purple one is the only the much more Ben.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true. You've not. Okay, I'll explain. So basically how this is going to work, I'm going to go into each book into depth. I'm going to tell you, is it worth reading or is it not? And I'll give you a little synopsis. Try not to spoil too much in case you guys want to go read it. I'm just going to give you, and I've got my book journal here, and I'll tell you how many stars I gave this book and this series overall. Spoiler alert, none of these books got 5 out of 5 stars. But I did love one book more than the others, and I can't wait to talk about that. Alright, let's get right into it and talk about the first book in the Descendants series, which is called Isle of the Lost. The Isle of the Lost. I'm going to read the blurb out to you. Basically, this is, so here, look, it says, evil tree, bad. Evil tree, bad apple. So evil tree is like the parent, bad apple is like the child. I'll read the blurb out. 20 years ago, all the villain kids were banished from the kingdom of Oregon to the Isle of the Lost, a dark and dreary place protected by a force field that makes it impossible for them to leave. Stripped of their magic powers, the villains and their children now live in total isolation, forgotten by the world. But hidden in the Forbidden Fortress is the Dragon's Eye, the villain's only hope of escape. Only the cleverest, evilest, nastiest villain can find it. Who will it be? In the quest for the Dragon's Eyes, the villain kids learn that being good ain't so bad, and sometimes it even helps. Basically, this book shows their life before they were even friends.
Can I explain?
Okay, she's going to try to explain.
So, basically in this book,
don't spoil anything important.
They can't have any friends. Like, Carlos, Mal, Jay, and Evie were not even friends. Like, so Carlos and...
No, wait. Jay and Mal, they were kind of friends because they kind of like had... But they will never classify themselves in friends because, you know, the Isle of Lost, you can't have friends. And Evie and Mal hated each other because Evie had this birthday party, and Mal was invited because Evie's mother didn't like Maleficent. Who is Mal's mother? I should probably tell you, Mal is the child of Maleficent, Evie is the child of the Evil Queen, Jay is Jafar's child, and Carlos is Cruella de Vil, and Ben is Beauty and the Beast. His child. I just said Beauty and the Beast. Now I'm also talking about Ben. He's also a main character. Basically, this book focuses on the forecourt. It doesn't have much of Ben in it. But it does have like a few chapters. But if you're a Ben fan, I'm sorry, this book is like maybe 2-3 chapters of Ben. But the chapters that are, they're very impactful of Ben. Because it goes into how he's struggling to be a king. So we get to see in his head how we thought Ben was perfect, but like even he did a mistake. There was one scene which I remember. I'm gonna say it. Like Ben literally stood up on a table and yelled at a council of sidekicks. That was Ben. Imagine that. But basically, this book introduces all of our VKs. And it shows how Mal is the feed of all of them because she's Maleficent's daughter. Only Jay is the one who kind of is her friend. If you classify him as a friend. Evie, Mal hates Evie because she didn't invite her to birthday 10 years ago, because of which Maleficent banished the evil queen Evie to their castle. But 10 years later, Evie's back, but Mal still hasn't forgotten and she still wants revenge. So Mal does play some dirty tricks on Evie. And Carlos is just Carlos needs to be protected. Like, everyone, please protect my baby. I love him so much. Like, oh, I love him. Like, he needs to protect. Like, he's my baby. He's my child. Like, protect him at all costs, please. I can't explain books. Anyways, and then after they four realize when Maleficent's raven comes back, and they realize they have to get the dragon's eye. So the four of them team up, all have different agendas. Like, Jay has a different agenda why he's going, Mal has a different agenda, Evie has a different agenda, Carlos has a different agenda. I'm not going to say what it is because it's kind of spoiling the book, but you should read it, this book, to get, like, what their lives were like before Descendants 1. And I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book, let's get my book channel, I don't remember how many stars I gave it. I gave it 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed this book. It's a good read. If you want to know, it's a quick and easy read. Like, I read this in like 2 days. 2 days?
3 days.
3 days. I read this in 3. I usually read at night time, so I read this in 3 nights. And usually I could have read it faster if I wanted to, but I didn't, because I really enjoyed learning about like Ben's past, Mal, and the VK's past. And if you want to see the relationship before this book, I highly recommend reading this book before watching the movies. You might get a depth into the characters, because after reading this and now rewatching Descendants, I was like, oh, I know more about you than you know about you. So, yeah. Moving on to book number 2, which is Return to the
Isle of the Lost.
Yep. This book. Okay, so let's talk about how the last 5 pages of this book have tabs. The rest of this book doesn't. When I was up to the last 5 pages of this book, I decided I'm going to try out the tabbing system, which I did, as you can see, with the last 5. And I wrote my keys here. But I'm not going to tell you because I didn't follow the keys. I just put any quote I liked, I just put tabs on it. This is like not any system. I wrote it, I don't follow it because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I've highlighted throughout the book. Even the other book, I highlighted all over, but I never tabbed it. But I highlighted all over this. Okay, so this book is after Descendants 1. The VKs are settling in to their new lives at Oregon when suddenly they have to go back to the Isle of the Lost. Why? Let me read the blurb for you. So it says, it's good. If you can see, it's good. Up, it says bad. To be home. I don't know, because right now my camera, it's coming upside down. So if it's like that, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to fix it. I'm really sorry. I might flip it around, but if that doesn't work, I'm sorry, the text is upside down. Upside down? What's the word? It's not upside down, it's sideways. That's what she's here for. Mal's an expert at intimidating, I can't talk, her enemies, but she's broken the habit since leaving her villainous roots behind. So when she and her friends Evie, Carlos, and Jay all receive threatening messages demanding they return home, Mal can't believe it. Sure, she's King Ben's girlfriend now, and she's usually nice to her classmates, but she still didn't think anyone would be silly enough to try to push her around. The thing is, it kind of worked, especially since she and her friends have a sneaky suspicion that their villainous parents are behind the messages. And when Evie looks into her magic mirror, when she sees only confirms their fears. Maleficent is a tiny lizard after running with Mal at Ben's coronation, but she's the worst villain in the land for a reason. Could she have found a way to escape Whatever's going on, Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay know they have to sneak back to the isle and get to the bottom of it. Without its infamous leader, the island's even worse than when they left it. But the comforts of home, even a home as gloomy as the Isle of the Lost, can be hard to resist for recently reformed villains. Will the kids be able to beat the evil bubbling at the Isle's wicked core, or will the plot to destroy Auradon succeed? Okay, already, when I first picked this book, I hated how long the blurb was. Not gonna lie. The blurb put me off, because I don't like books with long blurbs.
There's 3 paragraphs.
There is 3 paragraphs. But it is intriguing. So I did read it. Basically, this book, while the BK is settling in, Mal's being Ben's girlfriend, Evie's starting her business, and Carlos is trying to woo Jane. Oh god, my Jane and Carlos. I love them so much. Like, they both need to be protected. Like, oh, I love them. They're my favorite ship. Ben and Mal, Ben and Mal, Jane and Carlos are so underrated. Like, people need to love them more. Please love them. In this book, there's a lot of... In this book? Well, there's a hint in this book. But in the other 2 books, there's more Jane and Carlos. Because there is. Anyways, in this book, the four realize they have to return home because they've been getting threatening messages. And when they go deep into it, they realize that at the Isle, there's formed the Anti-Heroes Club, which they think is against them. So they go back to the Isle of Lost, and they find out that the club is not what they thought it was. I'm not going to tell you what the club was, because it surprised me, and I think that surprise, if you're going to ever read this, it should surprise you too, because it was like, okay, I really like the club. It was interesting. I loved this book because the four then realized they had to go into a mission to collect each of their mother's talismans. So Jay had to collect the cobra, Evie had to collect the venomous apple, Carlos the envy ring, and Mal had to collect the dragon's egg or something. But we don't get to that to like a fair length. So if you don't like slow plots, this book is quite slow. I remember reading and telling my sister, I don't want to read it. It's really slow.
But at the end, she's like, oh my god.
I was shocked. I love this book. But the beginning is a bit slow, so watch out for that.
She was like,
yeah, I was like, I don't want to get through this. But like, once they go to the Isle of the Lost, it gets really good. Also, if you love Ben and Mal, Ben's trust in Mal, I loved. And my sister wants to tell you something about this book that I forgot to mention, which is a huge part in Ben and Mal's story. So, take it away, Halima.
Let me tell you. That book, before they met, they were actually dreaming about each other before they met.
Yes, so if you wondered why Ben and Mal were so... When they first met, especially Ben, why was he like so starstruck seeing? Turns out they had dreams. This is kind of a spoiler, but at the same time it's not, because it's like has nothing to do with the first book. But because I forgot such an important information, because I just did. Anyways, back to this book. This book is good. You should definitely read it. I gave this book. Let me get back. I gave this book 4 stars. Even though the start was a bit meh, the ending of this book was amazing. Not the best ending of this series, but it was good. Go on.
So, by the way, we were judging covers one day, and she gave the red book a huge overrating. She hated that cover.
Yeah, out of all the Descendants book, this is the worst cover, if I had to choose. I will show you which is the best cover. The best cover is this one. No, it's not this one. That's the wrong one. It's this one. This is the best cover. The last book. But
it's like a diamond.
But I don't like the last book, so spoiler alert. I'm gonna read out. Well, my sister will read out my favorite quote from Return to the Isle of Lost. I wrote so many. Like, my book is like
4.
I have so many because some of them are spoiling. So this is like one quote that Mal said, and I really liked it. Yeah, go on, read it.
Strength didn't have to mean facing danger alone. Strength came from trust and friendship and loyalty.
That's so sweet. And I can't remember Mal said that. Like in the first book, Mal was like, I'm the biggest, baddest, although don't mess with me. Oh, okay, there's one more thing about this book that I did not like, which you guys, what they did with the parents. I'm not going to go much in it, but if you're expecting to see the parents, you will, but it's a bit disappointing. So I'm just going to put out there, it's not in the way you'd want to see the parents. So just putting out there, because I know there's a lot of villain fans, like me. I love myself some good villains, I do. Every good story needs a good villain, otherwise the story's shite. So, yeah. I'll plug on to my next book channel. See, this is when I started getting,
good at writing.
Creative. Oh, and you dropped me tea. The next book, the third book in the Descendants series, is Rise of the Isle of the Lost. This book is right before Descendants 2. It's after Return to the Isle of the Lost. It's set a few weeks after. And this book basically introduces Uma and introduces Harry and Gil, and it shows the readers how the pirate crew came to be pirate crew. And I found it so cute. Harry Cook is amazing. He's flirting with Uma in this book. Is everything. I love Harry. I want Harry. Thomas in the movies, I do. You know what? Reading this book, it's so, because I've already watched the movies, it was so easy to imagine the characters. Imagining the characters as same as the movies, it's so much helpful. Thomas is Harry for me, and he's flirting with Uma. He's snarky comments to Uma in this book. They're everything. I love Harry. In my Descendant books, if I had to choose a book boyfriend, I would choose Harry because I want him.
Not true.
I don't care.
Not true.
It's a book boyfriend. Relax. This is the last video she's ever going to be in, by the way, because she's already annoying me.
By the way, it's not him.
It's called a book boyfriend for a reason.
No, you said of all the last time.
I said of the Descendants series. My all-time book boyfriend is Taylor Lockhart from Chasing Red. But we're not talking about Chasing Red right now. Can you not? I'm talking about the Descendants series. If I had to choose a book boyfriend, it will be Harry.
Okay.
I love this book. Out of all the Descendant books, this book is the best book ever. Yes, it is. The cover's second. The cover's second to me. It's very pretty. I like it. I love this book, so especially the ending. If you I could not put the book down ending because it went back to back between Mal and Uma. I'm not going to say what happens, but I should read the blurb to you so you kind of get a hint. So the banner says, "Rise with the tide." Deep beneath the waves, King Triton's powerful trident has passed through the magical barrier that surrounds the Isle of the Lost, keeping villains in and magic out. And when Mal's longtime rival, Uma, daughter of Ursula, gets wind of this, she can't believe her luck. The tide has dragged in something good for a change, and Uma is determined to get her wicked hands on it. But first, she needs a pirate crew. A storm is brewing back in Oregon, and when Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay hear that the trident has been washed away, they realize they'll have to find it before anyone else from the Isle does. Luckily, they seem to have a talent for locating missing magical objects. As Uma readies for the high sea alongside Harry, son of Captain Hook. Did I say Harry Cook? I meant Harry Hook, not Cook. I'm sorry. Gil, son of Gaston, and the toughest rogues on the Isle of the Lost, the reformed villains of the Order devise their own master plan. And with King Bent away on royal business, they have to play by all the rules. Using bad for good can't be totally evil, right? The thrilling perilous race to the trident pits old friends and current enemies against each other with the future of Origin on the line. Both teams might like to make waves, but only one will come out top of this one. Once again, don't enjoy how long the blurb is. What's the need? But it is interesting. Also, if you want to know Mal and Uma's history about how they became rivals, it's also in this book. It's kind of a disappointing way. I'm not gonna lie, but I guess I'm like, they are VKs and they're villains and they're like, so I get why Uma and Mal reacted the way they did. It's understandable. But so that's also in that book. The ending of this book is amazing. Everything about this book is amazing. If out of any of these books you had to read one book, you have to read this book. I gave this book a 4.5 rating. Not a 5 rating because it wasn't perfect. Like, there was like some bits here and then I was like, ooh. But like, I loved this book, especially the ending of this book. Like, amazing. There was a lot of couple moments between this. I'm gonna like read my notes out. A lot of Carlos and Jane, and a lot of Evie and Doug, and a lot of Ben and Mal. We actually, if you want to see how Ben in Descendants 2, you know how there's the whole dance thing, the cortillation, whatever, that, you see how Ben asked Mal to that in this book. It's very, very king way. You also see Mal like go through Mal's thought process, like in Descendants 2, in this book as well. So you see Mal's like, do I really belong here? Do I not? So if you want to see that and get like more into Mal's head, that's also in this book. What?
Can I read one of it?
Okay, she's gonna read you something.
Magic is an expression of the unlimited capacity of mystery and wonder in the world. Cinderella's goodness brought a fairy godmother to her. Belle's love for the beast transferred him, and it depends on magic. We can't be a weakness.
Dependence on magic can't be a weakness.
Have you memorized these?
No, I haven't memorized. I just remember because I love the quote. That was Evie telling Mal when she realized Mal would be depending on magic, which you see also in Descendants 2. This book really connects to Descendants 2, so you should definitely read this before watching or rewatching Descendants 2 because it's a really good segue to Descendants 2. A lot of things tie into this book. The only thing that I sit with me is Audrey being nice. Like, throughout these books, Audrey's nice, and she's like asking Jane, oh, has Ben asked Mal to the dance? And I'm like, that's not Audrey's character. I thought she hated Mal, and she wasn't even Descendants 2, so it's like, but she's in this book a bit. Well, not a lot, but a bit. And apparently she has a cousin who I never knew about, but a lot of great quotes, and she read you one of the great quotes. So I'm not gonna read you anything. This video is becoming too long, so let's just move quickly on to the last book of this series, which is called Escape from the Isle of the Lost. The cover's beautiful, okay? But let's talk about this book. I don't like it. I don't like it. It was very slow for me. Like, I think after, like, from such a hardcore book, like such back and forth, you come to this, and throughout this book, you're waiting for Mal and Uma to have their face off, and when they do, it's so meh. I guess because this was like right before Descendants 3, and I was like, oh, Mal and Uma can have their final face off in Descendants 3, but I was still like,
you liked the face off better in the movie.
I did. The face off was much better in the movie, but I hope they did like better. They could have done so much better with Mal and Uma, but they didn't, and I'm just like, why? Because, but I don't like it. So it's because this book does introduce Hades, and it hints at Hades regretting something regarding Mal, which if you watch Descendants 3, you know what it is, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say what it is or it's Hades to Mal, but it does have that hints there. But I love Hades. Hades made this book tolerable for me. But this book is a very good ending to the whole series because the VKs, Jay, Carlos, and not Carlos because Carlos is younger. It's Mal, Jay, Ben, Evie, Doug, and all the others except Carlos and Jane. They're graduating because Carlos and Jane are younger, and there's a lot of like cute activities throughout the book and a lot of cute moments. But other than that, this book I gave a 3.5 because I guess it was the end of the series, but I don't know, it was a bit too slow for me. I don't really like slows because then I get into a reading slump and I can't read anymore, and I don't like that. I like reading, so that book gets a 3.5. If out of all these books, if there was one book I would recommend you don't read, it's that book, because that book just wraps everything up. Not really adding to anything, not really bringing anything. It does introduce Hades if you want more into his character. It's there, but there's like some chapters here that show Hades trying to escape the Isle of Locks. Like so it'll say like some time ago. When it says that, you know, it's like a flashback to Hades trying to do something. So there's like 3 some time ago chapters, which I liked. I think those chapters helped me get through this book because I did have a hard time completing this book. I think out of all the Descendants series, this took me the longest to complete because I was just like, I don't like it that much. If out of all these books, the book I would recommend you to read, like if you don't want to read the whole series, is definitely these 2 books. Like these 2. More this than this. The first one, just an introduction to all the characters, so you don't really have to read it because that just introduces everyone. But if you want to read it, you can. But if you're not going to read The Return, you should definitely read this one because I love this book. The ending is so eventful, so action-packed. So, yeah. We're done. These are the 4 Descendants books. Something to do with the Isle of the Lost, as you know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked having this one, who is sick. It's not COVID, but she's sick. I hope you guys liked having this one on the channel.
You know you can say my name.
I don't want to say your name. Tell me if you'd like to see more. Probably won't for a while because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about guests on my show. My show? It is my show? Yeah, you know what? It's my show. Welcome to my show. It's a Gambia show. Talk about books because we love books. We do.
Books.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any romance book recommendations, because after this, I already have Chasing. After this, these are probably my only middle grade fantasy book I'll ever read because I love romance. So I'm only reading romance from now on. So if you have any romance book recommendations, comment them down below in the comment section below so I can read them and I can make a video about them because I love books and I'm going to make a lot more bookish content. So watch out for that. But that does not mean I'm a booktuber because that's too much responsibility on my head. I will make book videos when I want to make. I'm not a booktuber by any sort of means. So sorry about that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And comment down below any book recommendations, or if you've read the Descendants series, don't forget to comment down below what you thought about it. Do you agree with my thoughts or not? And what's your favorite and least favorite book of the series? My favorite book is obviously this one. My least favorite is this one. Yeah. Any last words?
No.
Okay, no last words from Halima. So we'll see you guys next Saturday. By the way, I'll be uploading videos from now on every Saturday, so watch out for that. Bye, guys.